Hey folks, welcome to Streaming Church TV. This is our live video blog. My name is Phil Thompson. I'm the Executive Director of Streaming Church TV, and along with me here to my right-hand side is Steve Lacy, who's the President and Founder of Streaming Church TV. Steve, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Last week you had the flu.
Yes, I did. It was pretty challenging, but I made it.
Well,
100% better.
And you didn't pass it on to me, so that's
no,
good.
I don't think I passed it on to anybody. My wife was the primary concern, but
I was hugely concerned about that.
Yes.
For my sake, not yours. All right. Well, we're glad that you are here with us. Thanks so much. We are streaming this live, but we're also going to archive this, so chances are you may be viewing this on our archives, our Streaming Church TV archives. That's good. Today we're going to talk a little bit about tips for gaining some viewers and also keeping viewers. It's one thing to get people to watch your stream live or watch your archives, but it's another thing to keep them and keep them coming back. And so we want to address that a little bit today. And Steve, one of the things that you designed years ago in Streaming Church TV was our very interactive platform, our chat platform. Tell us a little bit about the purpose of that.
Well, the purpose of it was to allow two-way ministry to occur. Streaming's been around for a while, and typically it had been a one-way kind of thing where you would consume if you're attending online, and there wasn't a means to participate. Okay. So what we wanted to do was to allow the ability for those attending to participate back to the church as well as participate with others that are attending. The focus is try to replicate what you would see if you came to a physical church. You'd be talking with other people that are watching the service and that sort of thing.
Well, maybe not during the service you wouldn't be talking, but coming in.
You would, perhaps, maybe quietly whispering.
Do you talk in church? Is that what you do?
That's
now we're finding out. Okay. Well, and that's true. And obviously, there's lots of options as well. So, all right. So very interactive. Of course, this was, you created this kind of interactive idea actually many years ago. Before Facebook became so popular, and actually our Streaming Church TV platform really kind of evolved from myflock.com, which is the other side of our company that does websites and interactive websites, which you put together long before MySpace or Twitter or Facebook and all that stuff. So good job there.
Well, thank you.
So are you really a wealthy, rich person like, what's that guy's name from Facebook?
Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah,
no.
Are you up there with him?
No.
You're not.
I guess I'm probably, no.
All right. Well, that's okay.
We had a little different design, but
a little bit different vision.
The vision was to connect within the church and not necessarily connect with existing friends wherever.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So let's talk a little bit about that, folks. All right. So we're talking about keeping viewers, getting them, and keeping them. One of the most important things is that if you're going to be streaming live and using our StreamingChurch.tv platform, is to take advantage of the chat, as Steve just said, so that it becomes two-way. And so one of the best ways to do that is have somebody that will monitor the chat for you during the live service. We call that a web host, or you could call it a web pastor or a church online campus pastor. And they don't have to be necessarily a pastor, but somebody that you can trust, somebody that is a good person and maybe has a good understanding of the church.
Yeah. And you said an interesting word. You call it monitor the chat, which kind of sends off red flags to me a little bit, right? Okay. It says, oh, I've got to monitor because something may get out of control.
Okay.
When really the focus that I like to promote is it's kind of like having a greeter at church. You don't set up a greeter to make sure people don't get out of control in the foyer.
Usually
set up
not, right.
Yes, or that they misbehave. They're not monitoring the people coming in.
Right.
They're actually acting as a face and a voice to
friendly
the church.
And
right.
hospitable.
Right, so they're greeting and answering questions and pointing people in the right direction and that sort of thing. So the web host, that's the primary responsibility. Very seldomly would a greeter or even a web host have to address, A problem,
Yeah,
right.
and in all fairness, I've been working with Alive Church for a number of years. We've been streaming here at alivechurch.com for 4 years about, and I don't think we've ever had to block anybody. I mean, you do have that capability. You can, as an administrator, you can block somebody, but I don't think we've ever done that, and I don't think in the years that we've been doing this, we've never really had any major issues. I think we may have had somebody come on, but we're also reaching hundreds of people too.
Right.
So yeah, you're probably right. Monitoring probably sends out kind of a negative term, but at least you're there and you want to greet people, you want to be friendly, you want to interact, and let's talk about some of the ways people can interact while they're streaming. And I've got a couple suggestions here, and you can kick this in as well. Right. One of the things is when the senior pastor or whoever's up there teaching and you're streaming, or even during the worship, you can type in maybe little comments about the scripture, maybe a scripture reference.
Right. There's, I get a chance to drop in on different services, across the world, and there's actually one church that, as the pastor makes a point, is he's prepared and he's pushing that point, that scripture reference, that whatever it may be, into the chat room just to keep people focused on the message as well. So yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, and you can actually hyperlink, or there can actually be a link that you can put in, so people can actually click on that link and go to maybe a Bible reference, or go to something that you are pointing out. So repeating the scripture, typing that in to emphasize that, or maybe even ask some thoughtful questions to people as they're viewing. I know that a lot of times, my style of teaching, if I'm ever up there, and of course our senior pastor, many times when you're teaching, you will ask people from the platform a question. What does it mean? What does? There's a scripture I blogged about, said, the Son of Man came enjoying life. Well, what does that mean to you when you see that scripture? The Son of Man came enjoying life. Well, you can repeat that question, or you can ask a question like that as you're chatting with somebody online, and to get some response, to cultivate some activity.
Right. So actually, you think about it, the web host, as we call him, is really another minister ministering to the people online. And so they can take the message that's being presented, through the video and in the congregation, and add their own little twist to it to be the minister to that group that's attending online.
Absolutely, and speaking of ministry, asking people if they need prayer for anything. We have a private chat. People, if they can IM, so to speak. That's the term I use. Instant message. They can do some private chatting with somebody, and they can pray. They can solicit some prayer requests. One of the things that again I use Alive Church because I'm here and I'm involved here a lot, but we have a forum. We have a third kind of, I guess you call a third-party forum called JotForm, JOTFORM, jotform.com, and we've set that up so that we've kind of linked it to what we do. So a lot of churches, I don't have one here, but people hand out bulletins, right, and notes and all that stuff. And we also have what we call a connection card, so when people come in, they can write down their prayer requests, they can ask questions, they can take, if the senior pastor is asking about encouraging people to take a step of faith in a specific area, they can write that down on the connection card, indicating, in the auditorium, indicating that they're going to take that step, and then they drop it in the offering at what we do here. Every church does things differently. Well, you can do the same thing online, is what we're saying here. You can set up a Jot form. They're free. If you use so many of them, that does cost money. But there's other things out there as well. So I guess what I'm saying is be creative in using this chat platform. And there's links you can put in all around the platform. There's the active dynamic zone. There's even the static zone. There's lots of things you can do that will make it better for people, make it a better experience, so that people can can connect. They, prayer requests, comments, surveys, those kind of things. Those will keep people coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't utilize that, you're wasting opportunities.
Yeah, you think about it. It's just like coming to the church in person. If there's nobody in the parking lot, there's nobody in front of the church, there's nobody, between you and your seat, it creates a different experience for coming to church than it does with having, somebody kind of catch you as you arrive and point you in the right direction and smile or whatever.
Right. Yeah, engaging people. It's all about engaging people. And that's part of what having a web campus or church online campus is all about. Now, let's move on here a little bit. We mentioned earlier about how we were ahead of Facebook. Well, Facebook's a great tool, and it's really a good thing. And your church should have a Facebook page. If your church doesn't have a Facebook page, if your ministry doesn't have a Facebook page, I'm just going to come right out and tell you, you're missing out. Facebook is used by 200 or 300 people now in the world today. No, it's more like, 600 million or something?
I think it's 800 million.
800 million. I mean, I'm being facetious when I say 200 or 300 people. But the truth is, Facebook is used by everybody. Businesses are using it. It's no longer just for social media, but it's also becoming something that businesses and other churches are realizing it's a great tool. These things are tools that you can use to promote the message of God's love, and subsequently promoting your church, because hopefully you have that message. So use Facebook. Develop yourself a Facebook page for your church. There's lots of them out there. Again, I'll just reference my church because that's the one I'm always with. Facebook.com/AliveChurchTucson. Just go there and you can check out what we've done. Not that we're perfect, because we're not, but there's other churches that have done some stuff out there as well. So if you use Facebook, if you have a Facebook page, you can actually invite people to view the service on that Facebook page. You want to tell us a little bit about how that works?
Sure. On our platform, there's the invite tab. So if you go to the invite tab, it's geared for everyone that's attending online. And underneath that there's a few ways to invite people. The number one spot is invite your Facebook friends. So if you've logged in via Facebook when you went to the service, it'll automatically, click on that link, it automatically takes you to your Facebook account and will post the video right into the Facebook.
All right, so let me back up. So if I have a personal Facebook
You have a personal Facebook page, it'll put it on your personal.
Okay, on your personal page.
Right.
And people could actually click on the actual video right there on the Facebook page.
Yes, and it will play right on the Facebook page.
They won't be able to chat like an interactive, but they can at least view it from there.
Right.
Now, I happen to be one of the administrators of our church's Facebook page as well.
Right.
So again, I have to be logged in as administrator, which is a simple way it's very easy to do that. When you click on invite Facebook, it will give you an option of where do you want to invite people, to your page, to your timeline, to whatever.
Right.
So you have to be logged in, and so you can.
Yeah, logged into your church's Facebook account, right?
Okay.
To take people to post it onto your Facebook account. So yeah, it's completely integrated. So while the service is broadcasting, they'll see the video. If they can even just go to your Facebook page while we're broadcasting, they'll see the broadcast.
Yeah, that's a great little tool. And of course, you can also invite people to interact on Twitter. You can do it through Twitter, or you can do it through email. And again, it's right there on the StreamingChurch.tv platform, invite. So it's tell a friend. So another great tool, another great way to get more people to view your service. And again, Twitter's an option as well. If you have a Twitter account, you can put it out there. I tweeted this, what we're doing right now. I also posted this on our Streaming Church TV Facebook page. In fact, if you want to go to our Facebook page, just go to facebook.com/streamingchurch.tv and you can like our Facebook page.
All right.
We'd like it if you'd liked our Facebook page. All right, so Facebook, again, a great tool to use to interact. So again, it's about engaging people. So let's talk a little bit about how the pastor can help people help people in the streaming areas.
Right. So we're talking, and the whole topic of this thing is how to get more people to your live service online,
right. And keep them.
And keep them and retain them there. So yeah, there's the pastor can actually play a very big role in this. And basically what we encourage the pastor to do is address the web audience as another audience within that he's presenting to these teaching to.
So how does he do that? Just give me a practical example.
So a practical example is just look at the camera and say, we want to welcome our online crowd. Everybody here give the online crowd a hand, and we're glad that you've joined us.
Okay, and then occasionally mention that even during the sermon.
Even
right?
during the service, yeah. You go back to the online crowd and say, online crowd, take that into there to your response or whatever it may be.
Or sometimes pastors will say, hey, everybody repeat this scripture, for God so loved the world. And then you could say, and you too, guys, online.
Yeah, repeat that.
So
that does a couple of things. I mean, one, it definitely makes those that are attending part of the service so they feel like they're not, completely removed from the service. So they feel like they're part of the service. And the other thing it does, which may be even a more powerful thing, is it announces to the congregation there that there's a live audience watching this, and I can in turn invite others to attend my church through another means. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can invite them and stick them under my arm and bring them into church. That's one way, or I can say, hey, go to our church's website and you can attend the next service. Mm-hmm. And so it's a great way, especially for I have family located all over the U.S., so that's another good way. Or just getting it's actually a really good low barrier to entry way to get people to come to church. Right,
because it's scary. I mean, those of us that have been Christians for a while and been involved in stuff, we don't think much about how it was like to not be a part of a church or not be a Christian. And the thought of going to visit a church many times brings up some very uncomfortable feelings for people if they've never been to a church for a while, or if they've never, they're not really sure what they're going to walk into.
Right.
And so if they view online, it's kind of a safety net. They can actually view the service, interact with people, and get a feel for the flavor, the style of worship, the style of the pastor and his message. And again, I can just speak from a live church's experience that we have a lot of people come and start attending our church and even become members, and many of them started to watch us online first. They found us online first. They watched for a week or two or three or even longer.
Even longer, yeah. I work in the AV room with one of the guys that attended online for a few months, and then he came through the door and kind of worked his progress up, and now he's part of one of the ministry teams.
Somebody was asking me about cold hard facts. Well, what's the stats on that? How many people actually show up? And we don't really have some cold hard stats, but we'd say it's close to 10%. I think
10% of those that attend online actually come through.
That when the people that walk through the door, and they're here for the first time, usually 1 out of 10 has viewed the service online.
Really? I thought it was a lot higher than that.
Well, I'm being conservative here.
Okay.
I'm not speaking evangelistically speaking. Yes. It might be closer to 15%.
Oh, I was thinking much. But anyway.
Well, we're trying to be conservative here.
Yeah.
But still, 10% is a pretty good number.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good number. I challenge you to find an advertising method that's going to bring in 10% of the people that see your ad. I mean, honestly, that's pretty good numbers. So, and you're right. It may be a little more. I need to check the stats here. I don't do that. I thought
our new member teaching class people felt it was a lot higher than that.
Well, I know recently we've had a number of people, so that number may be going up. But I'm giving conservative figures, and maybe I need to get in here and improve those numbers. So, all right. So the pastor, the lead pastor, really should be addressing the online crowd as much as possible. And I would encourage you, if you're a lead pastor watching this, put it in your notes, a little reminder, just to say, hey, church online crowd or whatever, web guys, welcome. And then also mention them periodically in your sermon, just like you would in addressing your congregation, address them specifically online. Just a couple words. It's all it takes, and it will help connect people and help bring them back. All right, so let's move on here a little bit about, as we're talking about gaining and keeping viewers online. One of the things that I really strongly encourage people to do is always check your lighting and check your camera work. You don't need to have a real expensive camera to stream. In fact, we're set up here actually in our pastor's office today because it's the Easter weekend here at a live church, and they're busy running around doing last minute stuff. And so where we normally set up in the auditorium, we can't do that. So we're in Jeff's office here, Jeff Love's office, and we've literally set up an older camera with a tripod, and it's working fine. It's not the most high quality camera in the world. We will admit that, but it's very simple to stream with it. You can use cameras of almost any type, but the key to it is what?
Well, the key is the rule of thumb. Is that what you're getting
Yes.
at? Mm-hmm. The rule of thumb is the better the lighting and the closer you can get the camera to your subject, then the less expensive camera you can get. Yeah. So yeah, this camera we're running off right now is an eBay special used camera for I think like $50. So
there you go. Now we're about 8 feet away from it, whatever, and the lighting here isn't really the best.
It isn't the best, but it's
lighting.
not terrible. But you may be pushing it at your congregation at the back of 150 feet away with some poor lighting. You're going to be seeing it
with this kind of camera. You're not. We don't recommend that. But there are some good cameras out there, and especially HD is out there more and more, and HD can be a little overrated for the web, so to speak. And there's ways you can stream HD with us. If you do that, that's fine. We're not saying you can't. I'm just saying that you can get some other cameras that may be a few years old because somebody has upgraded, and you can get them on eBay or Craigslist or something like that. I mean, that's an option. I'm not saying run out and do that because you never know what you're getting, and ask the right questions. But and when I mean camera work, Steve, what I'm talking about is, if your pastor paces and you've got somebody on the camera that's not keeping up, we just have a tripod sitting here, that's going to make for a poor viewing experience. And so you really want to have somebody that's kind of staying on top of things. And then with lighting, as you said, and then audio is important as well. Make sure that your audio is good and that it's clean.
Yeah.
And we're always available to help you with these questions too. By the way.
We're going through these points about how to grow and retain your online crowd. It's not something that I did that this week and next week I'm going to have 4 times as many people show up. It's a slow and steady wins the race kind of thing.
Right. It's a process.
It's a process. You want to do this to retain those that you have and get those that are attending to have an enjoyable experience, so they tell their friends, and they're and so it builds. So it's it may take a little while.
Right. And that's important to do. We have a lot of people that start streaming with us, and they think right away, well, I'm going to have 150 people this weekend. You've never streamed before.
We have a guy this week that's going to have 1 million, remember?
That's right. So he might be watching right now. But the truth is, you're. I mean, again, we've been doing this for a few years at my church, and we have a couple hundred people at the most on the weekend. We're not really doing much advertising right now. We'll get to advertising in a moment.
Oh, we will. Okay, good, because that is a way that gets you a quick turnaround.
But the truth is, we've been doing this for years, and so we've kind of built on it. I think when we first started, we just had a few people, and it built up. So. But again, it's a great tool. Don't underestimate it. You can do a lot of things. We have people watching from all over the world, locally as well as all over the world, and we have no clue. I mean, I see stuff in China and different places, and we don't know what's happening there. And probably a good thing we don't know, because some of that stuff is illegal in China for people to view some of these Christian things. But good things are happening. So, speaking of advertising, how do you? You're getting a pretty good product here. Your camera's work is okay. The audio is okay. You've got your bases covered. Okay, how do we increase viewers?
Using advertising?
Yes.
Using advertising. So, obviously you want to promote your online service in all of the material that you use, currently.
So stationary stuff,
Yes.
website,
Stationery,
listed on your
newsletters, all the things that you normally communicate to your congregation or your community, you're going to want to include that as well.
And let me stop you there for a moment too, and that is, hopefully you've got a good website. We do have websites. MyFlock.com is a company that is part of our JSL Solutions company. We have StreamingChurch TV as well as MyFlock. We can help you with websites. In fact, if you do sign up for StreamingChurch TV, you have access to MyFlock. You can get a whole free website with your StreamingChurch TV subscription, as well as church management tools too. Now, but here's something that I see a lot of people not doing well, and that is they're not really putting any kind of a visible link to the live streaming service or to the archives on their homepage.
Right.
I mean, that's the first thing you need to do.
Yeah.
Put a link on there that's visible, that people don't have to search and try to find it, but it's actually right there where people can see it very clearly.
Right. Because if you're driving your people to your church's website to view the service, you don't want them to fumble around and go where it's 3 levels deep in the media page over in this corner. You
frustrated.
You want to have them send them right to your site and say, now broadcasting, click on the link, and they're in the service.
Right.
So,
So you were getting at, before I cut you off.
So the first step is just a no cost kind of thing. Just make sure you include it in your existing material, announce it to your congregation, and then beyond that is you can go and if you want to spend a little bit of money, we recommend using the Google AdWords.
Google AdWords.
Yes. So the way that works is, we get a lot of phone calls. How do I get to be the first page results when people type in Phoenix Church? And there's a lot of factors involved in that. And a good way to shortcut that and guarantee that you are on the first page is take advantage of Google AdWords. And what that'll do is that'll put your listing in the sponsored listings area, which is either across the top of the page or down the side of the page. And
so they just need to type in Google AdWords or something.
Yes, they go to the Google AdWords area, and the way that service works is you choose what words that you want to be listed under.
Keywords.
Yeah, what keywords you want to list under, what area, what geographic area. You can set it up so that what time of day, what day of the week, what day of the month, whatever it may be, you can go through and target very specifically. So, for example, if I'm a church in Phoenix, I want to be on the front page of the Google results, then I can go through and choose some words that would be appropriate. And it's actually, when we were first recommending this to churches, it was very affordable.
Okay.
But basically, the way that Google works is it's an auction-based system. So the more people that are auctioning for the same set of words, the more expensive those words become.
Okay.
And the broader your reach, say, for example, if you wanted to market your online platform across all of the U.S., that would mean people all over the U.S. would be clicking on your ad, so it could be a little more expensive.
Okay, I see. But you can target things. You can target locally. You can target specific areas of the country or the world.
Right. You can say just my zip code or my metropolitan area, or I want to go the whole, state of Texas or wherever it may be.
Okay, good. So that's a good start. Google AdWords would be a good start to do that, making sure that it's on your deal. Okay, we're running out of time here, but I do want to say something about Roku, the iPhone, the iPad, Roku. We're talking about keeping viewers, gaining viewers. Obviously, iOS devices are very popular. We have the ability, StreamingChurch TV gives you the ability to stream to the iPad, the iPhone. Just have to set your encoder specifically. And there's also a device called Roku. Roku is I don't have one here, but it's a little device about the palm of your hand, plugs into your television set, and it works off the Wi-Fi in your house or internet connection in your house. You can see all sorts of channels on it. StreamingChurch.tv is on that channel. And if you stream with us, you can also be on Roku, correct?
That is right. Yeah, it is something. I think we're still real early in this arena of the Roku. A lot of people haven't heard about it, but give it a few more years. I think it's gonna be very commonplace.
Absolutely. Roku is just spelled R-O-K-U. So you can Google Roku or just go to Roku.com and find out about the little device. Only cost about like $47-$48.
Right, exactly.
It's available all over the place.
Yeah, I went and did a little. You can go get them at Target, Best Buy.
Right.
And all over.
And you plug it into your TV, and what it does is you can watch Netflix, Major League Baseball. There's lots of different channels on Roku. Some of them are free. Some of them cost something like Netflix does, but you can get it through Roku. And again, we're on there. Streaming Church TV is on there. And if you're with us, we can get you on there through our channel, or we can build a channel for you, specifically for you on that for a slight fee. But again, it's something that I would consider doing because people can view it on a full screen, a big full flat screen, and we have lots of customers that are taking advantage of that. So we hope that you do. Okay, Steve, we're out of time.
Oh, bummer.
But we can talk some more. If you have anything we can ever do to help you, remember it's support@streamingchurch.tv. I'm Phil Thompson. This is Steve Lacy. Thank you for viewing our live video blog here. And remember, we're always available to you. So let us know if we can help you in any way. You guys have yourself a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon.